Hello, boys and girls. I am going to read to you chapter 5 and 6, the last two chapters of Horrible Harry and the Drop of Doom by Susie Klein. Chapter 5 is entitled The Haunted House. Ooh, here's a picture of the haunted house ride. Remember? Now, Harry loves haunted things. He loves scary things. He just doesn't like elevators. The line wasn't so bad at the haunted house. It only took 10 minutes. Soon Lee and Mary and Harry and I got into one car. We weren't happy about the girls getting the front seat. Dexter and Sydney and Ida and Mrs. Park rode in the car behind us. We could see them because our cars were just a few yards apart. I think I'm feeling better about things. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I'm feeling better about things, Harry whispered to Soon Lee. I think I can do that ride. I noticed he didn't say the E word. You can do it, Harry, Soon Lee replied as she turned around and smiled. As soon as our cars passed the first set of doors, it got pitch black. Ah! Mary screamed. What was that? Just cobwebs, Harry laughed. I noticed the girl in the car in front of us was leaning over. She was trying to touch something. When we came to a cemetery, I pointed to the tombstones. These epitaphs are funny, I said. I'll read some. Here lie the bones of Oliver Bright. He turned left when he should have turned right. Here lies Henry Horse McCall, hit in the head by a cannonball. Oh. As our cars moved along the track inside the dark haunted house, Sidney made up his own epitaph. He cupped his hands and shouted, Here lies Harry, no more in this room. He didn't survive the drop of doom. Harry ground his fist in his hand. A moment later, a ghost popped out of a tombstone and said, Who are you? Ah! Sidney screamed. Suddenly, our ride stopped. No one moved. Uh-oh. Miss Lee called out, Everyone calm? Uh-oh, what popped out? What? The ghost popped out, and then the ride just stopped. Uh-oh. Sidney scrunched down in the car, moaning. That ghost is going to get us! Harry froze. We were stuck in the dark. Soon Lee and I knew what Harry was thinking. This had happened before when he was 3.5. Only it was in an elevator. Mary looked around. Something broke down. It looks like we're stuck in here. Mrs. Park put her arm around Ida. Everyone come, she called. Harry buried his head in my lap. Harry, Mary exclaimed as she turned around. I don't believe it. When she talked, her white teeth glowed in the dark. Look, Sidney shivered. Floating teeth. Cool, Dexter said. We'll get out of here, Mary said. Sometimes these things happen. It did to my uncle when he was on the octopus. Mrs. Park counted heads. Everyone safe and sound? Suddenly, the ride started up again. Mary looked at her glow-in-the-dark watch. 2 minutes and 10 seconds. That wasn't too bad. As our cars passed through the last store and into bright daylight again, everyone sighed. Phew! The attendant was talking to that little girl. Don't ever get out of the car, he said gently. That makes the whole ride stop. The little girl was crying. I'm sorry, I just wanted to touch the ghost. As we walked outside in the hot June sun, Mrs. Park suggested, How about ice cream break? Yeah, Sidney said. I bet Harry gets lemon sherbet because people who are yellow love that flavor. Did you see him hide in Doug's lap? Everyone looked at Harry. I was afraid, he confessed. I don't believe it, Mary said. You actually admitted it? Old Yeller, Sidney chuckled. Mary scowled. You know, Sidney, I like Harry better now, and you less. Sidney took a step. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, Harry said. I think I'm ready for that ride. Seung-Lee jumped up and down. Mary held up her hand. Slap me 5, Harry. High five. I am too. I guess I'll go. I don't want to be left behind, Ida said. We all got ice cream and licked slowly as we walked over to the Drop of Doom. Harry's small act of courage encouraged Mary and Ida to be bold and to ride the Drop of Doom, because they were in it together. Final chapter, chapter 6, the Drop of Doom. This is the best party I've ever been to, Mary said as we stood in the long line at the Drop of Doom, licking our ice cream. It is Seung-Lee's idea, Mrs. Park said. Seung-Lee beamed. I love scary rides. Dexter unfolded his poster of Elvis. Do you think Miss Mackle would hang this in our 3rd grade classroom? Forget it, Dex, Mary moaned. I could sure go for another chicken leg, Sidney said. Then he pretended to bite Harry's knee. Ah! Funny, Henry snapped. He's being mean. Calling him a chicken leg. As our line wound around the garden of the haunted hotel, we could hear the screams of people inside the elevator as they went down. Did you see that? Ida said. The doors opened on the 13th floor, and the people could see out over the park. Sidney started to shake. They can? Yeah, hey, I thought you said you rode this ride, Mary said. I did. Watch, Ida said, pointing to the 13th floor. It's going to happen again when the next ride starts. We waited. I thought the lightning bolts struck on the roof were neat. Suddenly, the doors of the elevator opened. We could see the people sitting there waiting to drop. Then the doors closed and the elevator dropped 13 floors. Ah! The people shrieked as they fell to the bottom floor. I like the part when the doors open, Harry said. It's the closed elevator that I don't like. There. Harry said it in front of everybody. Mary replied first. So elevators scare you? Yep. I can't do merry-go-rounds. They make me dizzy. Then Mary added, You know something, Harry? I'm not so bugged anymore that you're in my 3rd grade class. Harry smiled. Then he showed her a red salamander he had found in the garden. Ah! Mary screamed. I don't think Mary liked that. Because remember, Harry likes creepy things. And Mary did not. 10 minutes later, we entered the hotel. There were lots of cobwebs and portraits of weird people up on the walls. A butler in a black tux with a low voice greeted us. Welcome to the haunted house. You are invited to the 13th floor by elevator. Dun dun dun! Mary turned to Seung-Lee. How long is the ride? About 3 minutes. How long is the fall? Seconds, Seung-Lee said. Mary looked at Ida. We can do it. Harry stepped closer to Seung-Lee. As we passed a counter on the left, I could see people buying souvenirs. There were t-shirts that said, I survived the Drop of Doom. And some people were buying pictures. What are the pictures of? I asked. There's a camera hidden in the elevator. It takes a picture when the elevator doors open, Mary explained. It said so on that sign. See? I buy one, Mrs. Park said. We see how we look. There's a picture of them. There's the t-shirt that says, I survived the Drop of Doom. Seung-Lee giggled when the people in the next car shrieked going down. Ah! And Seung-Lee, ha! We moved to the front of the line. It's your turn, the butler said in his creepy low voice. We hope you return. Mary and Ida held hands. Dexter put on his dark glasses. Elvis would wear these on this ride. Cool, I said. Dexter ran his fingers through his hair. I'm going to be real cool when those doors fly open on the 13th floor. Sydney got a ghostly look when Dexter said that. Please enter here, the butler said. I can do this, Mary said. Harry can too, Soong-Lee smiled. You'd make a good coach, Soong-Lee, I said. Great! The two sliding doors opened. There it was, the elevator. Here's a picture of Dexter in his cool shades. He's just acting all cool. There were exactly 8 seats. We all sat down and put on our seat belts. Then we lowered the steel bar over our laps. Harry sat between Soong-Lee and me. Sydney was in the back row. Well, Soong-Lee, Harry whispered, I wouldn't be on this ride without you. We help each other, she replied. Blam! The elevator doors closed. Slowly we chugged up to each new floor. Harry held tight to the seat bar. Let me know when we're going to fall. Not yet, Soong-Lee whispered. Up. Harry counted the floors. This was the 7th floor, 8th floor, 9th floor, 11th floor, 12th. Get ready, Soong-Lee whispered. The doors are going to open on the next floor. Swoosh! The doors opened. We could feel a nice breeze and hear the music from the merry-go-round. Harry looked out at Mountainside Park. Neato! There's Complush Mountain, he said, and the haunted house. I see Main Street, Dexter said. No! Soong-Lee said. Harry grabbed Soong-Lee's hand. Ah! 13 floors of free fall. Everyone in the car screamed as the elevator fell down, 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 down. It's Wonderland, Harry shouted. I feel like a feather. I don't weigh anything. Ah! The last few floors felt like we were bouncing on a trampoline. Poof! We landed. Cool, Dexter said, whipping off his dark glasses. You did it, Harry, Soong-Lee said. Harry had the biggest smile ever in 2nd grade. I really did do it. You were right, Soong-Lee. It was like falling down a hole. Sydney popped out of his seat. I loved it. Enjoyed every minute of it. As we walked by the picture counter, Mrs. Park purchased 1 t-shirt and the shot of a picture of our elevator. When we saw our faces, we laughed. Ha ha! Especially Sydney's. His eyes were closed. No wonder you don't remember that door flying open, I said. You had your eyes closed the whole time, Sid. You're one cool dude. There's the picture. Sydney's over here with his eyes closed. Sydney made a face. At least I wasn't afraid to go on it like Harry. Harry nodded. You're right, Sid. I was. But you know what? Thanks to Soong-Lee, I can go on any elevator now. It's the greatest feeling not to be afraid. Soong-Lee clapped her hands. So, who wants to go with me a second time? Harry asked. Me, Soong-Lee said. Me, the rest of us shouted, running back into the line. Mrs. Park plopped down on the cooler and waited for us at the bottom of the haunted hotel. She looked kind of beat in her souvenir shirt. She looks tired. Like, I'll let you kids go do that. The end. Thanks for reading with me, boys and girls. That was the end of Horrible Harry and the Drop of Doom by Susie Klein. Bye.